Hello. So, this video is going to be answering a question from one of you guys, Shumanator. Thank you very much for asking this question. It was a good question, and there's a lot of points I want to hit. Also, I want to make this channel more of a Q&A type channel where you guys ask questions and I make videos answering them. So anything you want me to answer, whether it's philosophy, um, about science, about technology, about economics, exercise. I study all of that stuff regularly, love to talk about it. Or personal situational advice, or just my opinions or takes on things, anything like that. Would love to answer you guys' questions with more videos like this. So again, thank you, Shumanator, for the question. So let's get into it. This is going to be about how to navigate social situations as that relates to the development of intuitive intelligence or awareness of sensations. And so, and then just some more practical application and examples of how developing intuitive awareness, the clear perception of sensations, how it directly relates to our everyday lives, particularly these complex social situations. And then later I'll talk about how using this concept of intuitive intelligence can create more synchronicity and magic in your life. And then I'm going to talk about how I personally make decisions. So got a lot of points to hit. Hopefully I can hit them well here. So just really quickly, firstly, intuitive intelligence, as I describe the term, is the ability for one to perceive sensations clearly, and that means perceiving sensations accurately, quickly, and subtler sensations more often, more of them simultaneously. And so the perception of sensations is what creates real intuitive intelligence, because logic is very useful, and there's no point at which logic stops applying to reality. However, logic is a tool that is to be used in conjunction with the intuition, or our prime directive of acting on our highest passion. And so it's, we don't always have all the information at hand to make perfectly logical choices like computers. That's not our purpose. Our purpose is not to be computers. Our purpose is to be souls who use our intuition in addition to logic. And so, and these work together, of course. So, in regards to interpersonal interactions, friends, family, when we want to be of service, right, and that's what we want to do, generally speaking, here on the spiritual path, right, whenever we're with people, we want to be of service to them. And right, when you're with someone, what's physically happening? Either you're talking, or they're talking, or no one's talking, right? And so this is either perception or expression that is taking place here in interpersonal interactions. One very valuable application of intuitive intelligence is to be able to determine when it is most effective service for the person you are with to be more so perceiving them and more so expressing towards them. Many people oftentimes, they just want to be seen. They just want to be heard. They want to feel understood. Especially people going through tough times emotionally. A lot of times, we want to give advice, we want to be an expression, help them that way, and that's great. But being able to use our discernment to read the energetic vibe, essentially, that they're putting off, allows us to be able to determine how to be of most effective service, either through perception of seeing them, being aware of them, just helping them polarize their energy, by seeing them as pure, um, and just being with them, or do we express and give them some practical knowledge that or information that may help them, or express something about ourselves to relate to them, or express something we think they are interested in or that we are interested in for the purpose of bonding, right? So those are the ways generally we express. And so um, it's confusing. It can get confusing because sometimes, people, let's say someone going through a difficult situation, they have a lot of cognitive dissonance going on, and they're uncertain or confused, or you're going through it, right? They might say, they might ask you questions directly from the place that they are at you know, of concern, of discomfort. They may be literally asking you questions, but the energetic frequency that they are off-putting is the frequency that they actually don't want you to answer their questions and solve their problems. They just want you to be there and see them and empathize with them, and um, be there in loving awareness with them, and maybe even to say something, for the purpose of bonding or being relatable, but not necessarily wanting an actual solution, right? Maybe you have the solution too, and it's just killing you. You want to say it, you want to tell them the solution to their problems so you can help them, but energetically, they are not receptive to that right now. They're not looking for that right now. That's not the way that they need help right now. Even if you think, logically, it makes the most sense to just tell them the solution to their problem, tell them what they should do, right? That's not always the most efficient way to help someone, sometimes, even when they're literally asking for it, right? So that's why this development of intuitive intelligence through clear, accurate perception of sensations is so important, because then we can detect these energetic frequencies of archetypes that people are experiencing, that we can be of most efficient service. This is the fun of learning how to be most efficient service. This is the fun part about our evolution, right? And so this is a very somatic process, right? So what do I mean by that? What I mean is that whenever we're reading vibe, right, reading what energetic frequency someone is putting off to determine how to be of most effective service to them, what we're doing is we are essentially looking for somatic signals, oftentimes within our own body-mind energy field, that come as contractions or expansions. And it can be as, subtle as you see someone who, they, let's say they're going through something, cognitive dissonance, right? And then you basically present the option within your own mind, both options of perception versus expression. One of them, either to express in this moment or to perceive in this moment, will create more of a contraction or more of an expansion in your awareness whenever you hold them both in your awareness at once. Or maybe they both produce expansions and contractions in multiple dimensions, but one has an overall greater accumulation of expansion, and another, either maybe perception, has a greater accumulation of contraction. And so okay, it'd be good for me to say something here. And so an intention to cultivate, to allow for this process to happen very effectively. Essentially, how to develop the ability to more clearly detect these sensations within yourself of expansion and contraction, to know what to do best in any scenario, is this. We set our intention to have conscious expression of our body positioning and posture. Whenever we intentionally create our posture at all times, we are being conscious of the way our body is positioned at all times. Then whenever contractions come up, very often they will manifest as our body or us losing awareness of some part of our body, and then that part of our body moving unconsciously out of our intended posture. So for example, whenever we are trying to perceive, at all times, we're always trying to maintain a balance in our belief system between believing in personal doership and believing in non-doership. We want to hold this paradox as balanced within our perception for most efficient operation. Because if you believe more so that you are the doer than you are the non-doer, then what's going to happen is that you will be less effective, because this belief is false. This belief is taking you out of balance. It's an energy leak. It's creating an energy leak in you, and then you have less concentration, less intentional, conscious energy use, directed energy use, directed manifestation, than if you were to maintain a constant balance of awareness of non-doership and doership in your awareness at all times. So most commonly, right, for us, this slips into doership rather than non-doership. If you're more biased towards non-doership, what that's going to look like is you are basically non-dual gaslighting yourself and everyone with spiritual truths of like, oh well, I'm not in control, so I don't know what I'm gonna do next, or it's like not being practical to an extreme extent is going to be the result of believing in non-doership disproportionately out of balance to believing in doership, because both are 100% true and 100% false, right? So because of that, right, this is understandable once we've transcended the rational plane. We are in the transrational stage of consciousness now, so we understand that maintaining paradoxes is how we most effectively operate in the world. A paradox is a feature, not a bug. So that's how it looks whenever it gets a little out of balance with perception of non-doership, right? And then whenever we get perception of doership out of balance, our belief in our doership is stronger than our belief in non-doership, then you'll notice these contractions appear in your body if your intention is to always be conscious of your posture. So then your body will send a signal to you that you've slipped out of balance somewhere in your belief system. And the signal to you is you losing awareness of some part of your body, or accurate intentional posture in some part of your body. And there's very common places where it'll happen. So the easiest one, most common one for doership versus non-doership is whenever you're perceiving doership disproportionately out of balance, our consciousness tends to leave the back of our head and come to the front of our head, and our head will even tip forward like this. It tips forward rather than being appropriately positioned at the top of the spinal cord and the spine. It'll tip forward like this. And then our eyes will disengage focus. We want our eyes to always be focused on the point that is in the center of our vision, as well as the periphery. right? We want the whole image equally perceived. However, the the center of our vision is still clear. And you'll notice one of your eyes will disengage, focus a little bit, right? You'll notice your head will maybe tilt forward, your consciousness comes to the front, leaves the back of your head, right? So then these are the types of contractions that I'm talking about when I say contractions pass through your body-mind energy field, all right? And so you can be talking to someone, and then whenever you're talking to them or whenever you're with them, all these subconscious judgments about them, what they're saying, or thoughts about what they're saying, like something they're saying is going to provoke some reaction in you, right? And then you'll have a false belief, which is based on an assumption that is incorrect, and then, that you don't have full evidence for, right? It's an assumption that's unbalanced, it's not paradoxical, therefore it's not absolutely true in the absolute reality. And so it creates this sort of distortion, and then it manifests as this contraction in your body mind awareness. And so yes, first it originates as an assumption that we don't have evidence for, and then this assumption is a belief, so it's a false belief. If something's negative, it's always false, right? And then we'll have these, spiraling off opinions like, oh, this, judgment of better or worse, or I want this to happen, or I want that to happen, or I want the person I'm talking to be more like this way that I prefer, right? This will happen all the time, always, when you're with people, right? And it's happening in the background. We don't realize it's happening. But if you can develop your awareness, to set your intention to be ready for these things, to see them when they're happening, then all these things that are happening in the background start coming to the surface, and you see them. And when you're with people, noticing these false judgments that are disharmonious, that come up within you from your subconscious, when you're with people, about yourself, noticing these things, correcting the falseness in the belief immediately when it comes up, affirming the truth that is opposite to the false belief, and then accepting and forgiving the false belief, and then redirecting your attention to being with the person and accepting them as they are, and not wanting to control them, right? This is the process of how we are always going to be doing that with people to allow us to be of most effective service, right? Doing that process allows you to be of most effective service. It allows you to see more clearly, because it removes all those things are energy leaks, these false beliefs. These false beliefs are energy leaks, these assumptions, these judgments. These are leaking our energy out. And so as we plug these leaks, this increases your awareness, and then allows you to be of more effective service to people, because you can detect subtler and subtler sensations, these contractions in our body mind, and then you can determine, oh, okay, in this moment, for this person, it is most effective that I am just with them right now and just observe them, because they really they want to express this part of their personality, and they want to feel seen and loved. And so I'm going to see them and love them, and they don't really benefit greatly from my expression right now in this moment. That's not the energetic frequency they're putting out, so I really don't need to express anything. And for you to not express anything is actually a great gift, because us individually spending more time in our perception than expression expands our consciousness on average much faster. We as humans have the inclination to express more than we do to perceive, and being with people and just being patient and perceiving them rather than needing to express our own opinions and karma all the time will help your consciousness expand very efficiently. So, um, so I think feel like I got that point pretty good. Just looking at my notes here. Yeah, and I'll just say this in addition is that one of the worst frequencies for creating friendships and attracting people into your life and making people like you, one of the worst frequencies that pushes people away is control, the frequency of control, frequency of I want this person that I'm with right now to act in a certain way that pleases me, that I would prefer. That this desire for someone to be something other than anything of what they are, completely naturally, is it at its core is the ego, and it is evil. It is the desire to control others. It's the negative polarity. It's the strongest aspect of the negative polarity. And so this one is probably the most important key one to be on the lookout for within within yourself. This archetype passes through all of us. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We have our preferences, right? And the ego has its preferences. And so we acknowledge true self's preferences, and we acknowledge the ego's preferences, and we accept them all, but we act on the true self's preferences, not the ego's preferences. And the true self prefers everyone to act and express authentically to their own free will and desire out of love, not fear. And the ego may desire, personal gain, or to be entertained at the expense of others, right? So whenever we see those archetypes coming up within ourselves, we don't blame ourselves, we don't feel guilty about it. We see those archetypes, we accept them and thank them for showing us what our true nature is, by showing us what our true nature is not, which is those archetypes, those negative, controlling archetypes. And being that present and that conscious and that aware of yourself with other people, in the presence of other people, is extraordinarily powerful. You may think, you may be sitting in silence with your friend or someone you don't even know. But if you're doing that, if you are being that aware, going through that process of self-inquiry and self-discovery, just silently in the presence of others, you are being of great service to them, because you are expanding your consciousness intentionally and significantly, and they are expanding their consciousness faster as a result of being near to you doing that. So that is a fantastic thing. So this video is getting really long, but I'm just rolling with it. So then the next point is the synchronicities. How have the synchronicities increased in my life since becoming intuitive, since awakening to this intuitive decision-making system? Well, I will say that my life is really only synchronicities now. All I see are synchronicities. Everything is communication from the ultimate intelligence, from God, from the universe, in my perception. Everything is speaking to me. All actions, everything I witness is a message, is a synchronicity. And so how does that happen? How did it get like this, and how do you make your life like this? Well, firstly, we truly believe that anything is possible. We truly believe that anything is possible and that nothing real can be threatened, right? These are two early realizations, in the awakening process. But the whole awakening process is integration of these realizations, right? So anything is possible and nothing real can be threatened. What is real is not my body, it is not my mind, it is not anything, any concept that you can point to, right? So these are foundational truths to the spiritual awakening, to metaphysics. And so firstly, we believe those. right? And and so then we act authentically. The task is to act authentically by following our highest passion at any moment, at every moment. Um, and as we act authentically to the best of our ability, um, to follow our passion, knowing these beliefs, right, we are reinforcing to the universe that we actually do understand these beliefs, because we are acting out of love, not fear, because we know those two beliefs. Anything is possible, right? No physical reality is limiting anything. There's no limitation other than the limitation I create in my mind, and nothing real can be threatened. Nothing can threaten me. I am safe. I am saved. Right? I'm free. I always have been. I just created an illusion of bondage. Right? So we know these things, and then we prove that we know them. We prove that we understand them by acting radically, authentically, from love. And the more we do that, even in the face of, against the odds in a situation that seems like, oh, we shouldn't do that. But if we do it anyway, right, we're proving that we understand that this knowledge that we have, this understanding we have of love, truth, is more powerful than, the pain of the body, the pull of hedonism, the lies of the ego, right? And then more synchronicities are created. Our life will just increase in synchronicity until synchronicity is all that there is. That's all that's left. And that's really how I feel like my experience has gotten to now. All right, so I think that point was hit. And last point is how I make decisions. So how I make decisions is, of course, I still use logic. There's, you know, the mind is logical. The universe is logical. The universe is entirely logical, right? Math is logic, right? Is the fundamental archetype of logic, and math underlies all of our physical reality, and even all of the metaphysical reality. With sacred geometry and stuff like that. Math underlies everything. The entire universe is logical and intelligent. There's no unintelligent, not logical part of the universe whatsoever, right? So that is always applying here, even though we are in the trans-rational stage. It's not that we threw logic out, it is that we transcended logic. So we transcend and include that. The phrase "and include" is implied by the word transcend. So we don't throw out logic, we use logic to transcend logic, and now we enter this realm of intuitive logic, right? We still use it, but we recognize that all truth is paradoxical, and that is really the hallmark of the transrational stage of consciousness evolution. So again, how do I make decisions? So I weigh out my desire, because my desire is divine, right? The ego's desire is the ego's desire, right? It shows you what you are not. It's the illusion to distract you. And then the desire that comes from a place of love and excitement, not fear, that's the divine desire. That's the desire of the true self, right? So I'm always trying to find out what it is I truly desire, because ultimately this is the entire spiritual path, is finding out what it is you actually truly desire. That's everything. Like the whole spiritual path, the whole evolution of consciousness really can be summed up as that, finding out what you truly desire, because that is your true nature. What you desire is your true nature. It's you. Everything you love is on the outside of you is actually some part of you that you love, and you see it as outside of yourself, because we've created this illusion of outside and inside. But Everything that you're seeing, that you love, it is you. It's you coming to know yourself. That's what love is. It's the mechanism. And so the way I make decisions is by questioning, relentlessly questioning what it is I actually desire in the moment. And the whole time I never stop, even while I'm acting on what I think is my highest passion in each moment, I'm always simultaneously questioning, is this still my highest passion to act this way in this moment? Um, and so I do that. I have that intention program happening in my awareness in the background, and I am looking for synchronicities, signs from the universe to tell me what to do, because I accept the truth that um, I don't know what I want. I don't know what's best for me. I don't know what's best for everyone. I don't know what is in most alignment with the universe, and I can attempt to know, and I will always do my best, but I will never know, um, with certainty, right? And so um, I'm looking for the universe to essentially point me in a direction by giving me some sort of reason, some sort of clear indication that I can be of service most effectively by taking this course of action, right? And it's very subtle, very, very subtle things. Um, so I'm looking for those subtle things to happen in my reality. Like for example, if you get an opportunity to do something that seems fun to you, that you're good at, and you can help people, well, that's very clear, right? Um, but that archetype of that thing happening can take place on very subtle levels. Um, and so I'm always on the lookout for that. I'm always trying to follow my highest passion and question what is my highest passion in the moment. Um, and of course, like I said, logic is never lost. Um, I'm always, you know, um, I'm always trying to use logic to corroborate everything as well. And then sometimes you get the intuition that, I should just go directly against what logic is telling me right now. I should go against directly what the mind is telling me right now, because that's what my intuition is telling me strongly. And that's part of it. You make a function where all of these variables, all of these tools, all of these intentions are weighed, based on how intensely they make you feel in the moment. And then um, you leave your awareness on those things, you leave your questioning on one of those things, and the action really does itself, right? At a certain point, we set our intention, we surrender, we and then the action does itself. The rest is taken care of. So this was a super long video. Thank you, Schumanator, for the question. Like I said, I would like to make this channel more so like this, more so question and answer about any, it could be specific personal situations, it could be general philosophy, it could be about science, exercise, it could be economics, politics, news, anything you guys want to hear me speak on or answer for you. Please put your ideas, questions, comments down below. Thank you for listening. Thank you a lot. If you made it through this long of a video, you're a real one. And yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks again. Peace.